Go.
All right. Well, I said I can't see it. All right. What's up, people? Another
we're,
episode of Midnight Tacos.
we're back. I don't think we haven't been on in a while. I think
Now,
before the Wade Boggs party, maybe.
yeah, I remember the last thing we talked about on the show was Batman vs Superman,
Okay,
and
yeah.
and we hadn't seen it yet. So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, we've probably gotten too drunk on the weekends and gotten lazy, so.
Yeah, had some scheduling conflicts,
I
but
had had a couple birthdays in there we had to take care of.
yeah. So that all that added up is the reason for our hiatus. But we're back now, back and better than ever, right, Dust?
Yeah, we got a special guest on the cast tonight. Little crossover, Midnight Tacos and Broad and Cecil blog run by the Lord Commander himself, Pat Schenk.
Very flattering. Thank you for that introduction. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be we're gonna have fun tonight. Big thing last night there was Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones first episode back in the sixth season. So like Dust said, we got the Lord Commander, big Game of Thrones fan.
I'll try my
So
The episode was a little short, if I do remember correctly.
yeah,
45 minutes.
yeah, you had fucking 10 minutes of previews to start, and then it ended 5 minutes early. But
What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna do?
Skadoosh, skadoosh.
So just like normal Midnight Tacos fashion, we're gonna talk a little bit of movies before we get into Game of Thrones. And in honor of 420 last week, Dust, I know you're a big stoner.
Back in the day.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the top stoner movies. I think we each have a different amount of stoner movies that we want to talk about, but
I have 5, so.
you've got 5, I got 4. Poby, how many do you have?
Probably like 2.5, I'd say.
All right. So like we're somewhere in the middle. So
I'll go
Dust,
first.
yeah, Dust, start us off with 5.
All right, number 5, I have Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Whoa.
Out of nowhere, out of left field.
Okay.
So the reason this is the top stoner movie is because saw it in 3D, and it's got the whole animated feel to it, which is a lot cooler when you're stoned already.
Right.
And I mean, when you're stoned, everyone loves to eat, so you literally have food falling from the sky in 3D while you're stoned, and it's literally the greatest thing ever. So I put that up there. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, that's definitely not a movie I would think to be like, oh, dude, I'm stoned right now. Let's watch Patty with a Chance of Meatballs.
just make sure you got some snacks on hand.
Yeah, I like the pick. I didn't even think about like animated movies because that's like a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I was going to say, animated movies were not on my radar.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I mean, everyone just thinks it has to be a comedy or something like that, but I don't know. You throw an animated movie in there. I mean, just don't watch horror movies. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, seriously. All right.
You want to do your 4?
Well, why don't you take us to 4?
Okay, I'll take us to 4. All right, so I actually have another kind of. It's like a mix. I got Avatar at number 4.
Okay.
Great visuals. I think first time I saw it, I was stoned and I was just blown away. A little bit on the long side, which can kind of trip up some stoners. You don't really want to make it too long, or you might
Right.
pass out, or you might lose the high. But at first you're just blown away by these visuals. So
I don't think I haven't seen Avatar in a while, but I just remember like after watching it not in theaters, I didn't think it really held up. And apparently we have 3 more fucking Avatar movies coming out in like 2020 when no one's gonna care about these movies.
Yeah, I mean they waited too long. When did the first one? The first one came out like '08 or something like that.
Yeah, probably '08 or '09, but
Yeah, I've never seen Avatar, and so far with your list, I went in like the complete opposite.
You've
Yeah,
never seen Avatar, dude?
never seen Avatar. No,
That's
never
crazy.
intrigued me. I don't know. I was too busy watching like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movies
That's
Hey,
true.
over and over
no,
again.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, for number 4, I have The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite comedies of all time, and The Big Lebowski is just like a chill dude, gets high, drinks White Russians, and what I think is like what makes it a top tier stoner movie is like all like the cut scenes and the musical parts that they do. It kind of like spices it up and like lets you like trip out a little bit while you're high. So.
It is a good stoner movie. That was my honorable mention.
hmm
Um,
I just think like when you're high and you're listening to like the dude just ramble on and say nothing. I just think
literally
that's
nothing.
dude that's like one of my favorite parts. And then you have John Goodman kill it as his buddy who doesn't
The,
roll on the Shabbos.
the dude abides, man. The dude
Yeah.
abides. I like it.
All right, Poby, give us your half, your 2.5.
My half, so it's kind of like cheating, but I picked Trailer Park Boys, just like the entire series. And
Yeah.
they had a few movies that were pretty subpar, but I picked the whole series because, I mean, what other show or movie has sort of a hash driveway that catches on fire? And it's literally
Yeah.
like the entire season is based around this driveway they make out of hash. That's why I picked that as my half.
That's a good one. Gotta
Dude,
love Trailer Park Boys.
Trailer Park Boys just sends you into a Bermuda Triangle of stupidity. It's like
Yeah.
you're just watching, you're like, holy shit.
It's very hard to get out of it once you start it.
It is.
Yeah, it's like an abyss. Like when I was like during summertime in high school, I'd just watch that until like 3 in the morning. Be like, I kind of want to live this life. Like that's how much I watch it.
Yeah.
High school, my go-to come home stoned was That 70s Show.
That's a good one
Yeah.
too.
That fits pretty well.
I didn't really have any Stone TV shows back in my day, but all right, let's go on to 3. I have Harold and Kumar, the first one, not the second one or the third one. I actually never saw the second one. I saw the third one's the Christmas one, right?
Yeah, second one's Guantanamo
Yeah,
Bay.
Guantanamo Bay second.
Guantanamo Bay is really funny.
Yeah, that's just a classic. Like, it's not like obviously none of that stuff's gonna happen to you, but it's just you're stoned, you see something on the TV, and you like need it right away. And it's,
I didn't have that in mind. I had that as another honorable mention, but I feel like I should have put it on there.
yeah, I mean that was classic for us too because like I feel like that is like high school for us, and it was just one that like you loved to watch when you were like in high school and stoned. So
That was your 3?
yeah, that was 3.
Okay. At 3, I have Superbad.
I was just thinking that.
Just because I don't know, it's fucking hysterical. Literally every time I know, like I crack up at a different part in the movie, and I feel like when you're stoned, you catch on to the littlest things, and it just makes you die laughing. And that whole movie is funny, and I think it's the most quotable movie ever. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Put it up there.
that's like my favorite comedy of all time. By
Yeah.
far.
I agree with that. Stoned or not stoned, I could just watch that
Yeah,
endlessly.
definitely. Dust, go 2.
Okay. 2, I have Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
That's the classic.
That's like when you're stoned and you just want to chill and
Yeah.
like relax. You just throw that on, and everything's all right, all right, all right.
It really is. Like, you can't be upset. I mean, I kind of get nostalgic watching it at this point, but
Yeah,
it's still a great fucking movie.
Yeah, I had that as my number one, and I think that's because you could like pick that movie up at like any point in it and just start watching from that point and understand what's going on.
Yeah.
for
Just so
sure,
easy to pick up on in the middle.
for sure, for sure.
Well, you skipped your number 2, Pat.
Yeah, probably go 2.
My 2 was Pineapple Express.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if that was gonna be your number 1.
And wait,
Yeah.
you already
Well-
gave your 1.
Dazed and Confused is my number 2 as well. So we just talked about that. My number one, Poby, it's your number two, Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Also, one of my favorite comedies of all time. James Franco in that movie is like, he just knocks it out of the park. Did you know that when that movie was first, like when they first started production on it, Seth Rogen was supposed to play Saul, and James Franco was supposed to play whatever Seth Rogen's guy's name is. But Dale.
That would have been horrible. That would have been
Yeah,
horrible.
right. Like it's
I'm glad they switched that around.
yeah, because I guess they casted Seth Rogen as the drug dealer because they thought he was like like the frumpy dude, and like Franco would be the normal dude. But they just knocked it out of the park with James Franco. I think he was nominated for like a Golden Globe for like supporting actor or something.
Was he really?
I think he was. I'll fact check that, but
Damn.
yeah, that's got to be like, man, I love that movie.
Yeah. That was my number one as well. I mean, it's just the go-to stoner movie. Like I said with Superbad, literally every time I watch it stoned, I pick up on something different that just makes me die laughing. What's it called? Who's the guy that plays Red?
Danny McBride.
McBride. Yeah, McBride's fucking hysterical. Craig Robinson's hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very solid cast.
Do you know what one of the parts I love is when the Asians are like staking out in that van and they're listening into the phone calls, and they're like, one of them like takes his headphones off and he goes, "I have to take a shit," but he says it in Asian or whatever. But
I
yeah,
didn't watch that. I haven't seen that in a while.
James Franco was nominated for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical for the Golden Globe. So
And he didn't win?
No, I
well deserved.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was our
top stoner movies.
Yeah, in honor of 420. Hope you guys enjoyed yours. Dust definitely enjoyed his. But all right, so let's move into why we have Poby here. Game of Thrones, season 6. First of all,
wieners, fluffy wieners.
What'd you guys think of the episode?
Pretty much what I've expected, like every first episode to be like, where they show a bunch of things that like ended off on cliffhangers the year before, and they don't resolve everything. They just kind of show everyone and set more things up to happen. So
Right. Yeah.
it's pretty much what I expected.
That's the thing. You get to these like huge stuff that like happens in the end of the seasons, and then you got to build it up for the next part. So I expect that for the next 3 episodes. That's what season 5. I felt like they did that for a couple too many episodes. I think it was like 5 episodes to build up, and that's why like season 5 was a little but it ended pretty well.
And I think like part of that had to do with like everything happened at the end of season 4, because that's like that lined up with the end of the 3rd book.
Right.
So like they couldn't just like jump in and start doing like crazy stuff like how Joffrey died in the 2nd episode of season 4. Like they really had to rebuild character storylines and build up new ones and build up more tension and things like that.
And also like the showrunners they said that like season 5 was the build up to the end. Like that's when they're starting to build up for the end of the show to like begin. So I think they said they want to go like 8 or 9 seasons. I bet HBO is going to want to get them to 10. But so we're starting to see these final storylines begin. And there's going to be a lot of stuff happening this season. I'm pretty pumped about it. Dust, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking along those lines too. You could definitely see them develop, like you said, developing kind of for the climax of the whole thing. I think they said there's only going to be like 17 more episodes or something. I saw that.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere, yeah. And I don't know, dude. This whole time, I kind of got a taste of it in season 2, I believe, with the Battle of Blackwater. But I just want a fucking full-on scale, like a full-scale battle. That's what I'm waiting for, like the Battle of Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings or something like that. Yeah. I need that. I just need that. Like I know everything's played behind closed doors and kind of in secrecy, but I don't know. There needs to be a huge battle, I think.
You got one coming with presumably if Jon Snow does return as Jon Stark taking on Winterfell and the Boldens. So
That'd be awesome.
that'll be a huge fight if it does occur.
Yeah, that's a good segue. So the big cliffhanger from season 5 was that Jon Snow was turned on by his nice watch. Dust, what do you got there?
Little Jon Snow pop.
Oh, there it is. Look, I like the mustache too. But yeah, so Jon Snow's dead for sure. Were you guys surprised? Like, obviously he's coming back. We all know that. Were you guys surprised it didn't happen last night?
No, I wasn't surprised. There was talk like for the past month, like couple months, that he's not in any of these episodes in season 6. I don't think.
It's just
I think that's been confirmed. Yeah, but they haven't said anything about like the following seasons. So
Yeah, I wasn't really surprised that they didn't bring him back in that first episode. They have to build it up at least and build
Right.
the storyline out in typical Game of Thrones fashion.
So Dust, you don't think he's going to be in season 6 at all, alive at least?
no, I don't think that.
Poby, when do you think we'll get a comeback? Poby?
I think he'll come back by the third or fourth episode. I think he'll be
Of season
reviving
6?
for him. Oh yeah, of season 6.
Really? It's
Yeah.
fucking early, dude.
That's what I'm thinking too, because so the episode ended last night with Melisandre
Yeah.
taking off her emerald and turning into an old lady, and we all lost our boners really quickly. But if you guys remember, do you remember Thoros of Myr, who was in the Brotherhood Without Borders? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Brothers Without Banners. He's coming back.
Yeah. Well, if you remember when he brought
He brought that. Yeah, he brought that knight back to life.
Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah.
He said that he got the power to bring people back to life when he lost his faith in the Lord of the Light. So I think that's what we just saw with Melisandre. She took off her emerald, she turned into the ugly person that she really is, and she's lost her faith. She thought it was going to be Stannis was going to be the Lord of the Light, or the reincarnated one. And she saw Jon Snow in the fire, but nothing worked out for her so far. So I think pretty soon we're going to see her get that power back, and she's going to bring Jon back to life.
I don't know, man. She was pretty hot. I hope she stays old.
Yeah, I mean there were rumors that she's like 400 years old, and that's kind of the estimated age of her. She looks pretty good for a 400-year-old woman.
Yeah.
She was still pretty sleek, like not a lot of flab going on there.
Yeah. A lot of droopage, but that's
She
another
gets-
story.
She's gotten naked probably like at least half of the episodes that she's been in.
Probably around there.
It's insane, dude. Literally just always pulling out her titties, and I love it.
Yeah, like whenever they had Bran and Hodor walk in, and it was just like a really boring 5 minute scene, followed up with Melisandre getting naked.
Definitely no complaints from the male audience of Game of Thrones viewers. All right, but we also have Sir Davos at the wall right now.
Davos is carving out himself a big role. His stock has been rising. I'm interested to see what he does because I hope he leads a revolt against what's his name, Alcer.
Yeah, Sir Alcer Thorne.
Alcer Thorne. Yeah.
You saw Davos send Eddie, John's like last friend that we kind of know. He sent him to go get the wildlings, so that'll be interesting when he comes back with them.
Yeah,
Definitely looking forward to that.
and I think Davos has been a pretty underrated character throughout the show. He had like one really good speech, I think, at the beginning of one of the seasons when he was talking to the bank to get money for Stannis' army, and that's like really all that we've seen from him, other than talking to Stannis' daughter. So I really hope he takes a larger role and this continues as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost his leader. He used to follow Stannis to the death, and now Stannis is dead. So he can do whatever he wants to now, and he was a big fan of Jon Snow, and I'm definitely pumped to see what he can do. Should we segue?
Let's segue.
All right. Next up, I think one of the most boring storylines on the show right now. Khaleesi, Dany.
Dude, she's been the most boring storyline for fucking 5
Yeah.
seasons. It's unbelievable.
I don't see it getting better either, dude.
No.
So last season we left off. She rode Drogon. Is it Drogon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She rode Drogon out of the battle arena, but she got surrounded by the real Dothraki, the ones who don't like her. They don't even know who she is at first.
Yeah, which is surprising. I feel like, word should have traveled at least. I mean, they have to have some form of communication, one
Yeah.
would think.
And how many people are there with like bright white hair over
Yeah.
these cities? Like,
Yeah,
especially like that, and like.
I mean, they make it seem like these calls are, the leaders of their hordes. Like, how many calls are there that they don't know when another one dies? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
right.
They find Daenerys and she kind of rattles off all of her names like with no hesitation. The guy like doesn't believe it, and
Yeah,
then she says, "Oh, I'm the widow of Khal Drago," and all of a sudden he like steps back.
yeah. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna rape you tonight.
Yeah. He just believed that part.
Yeah.
I think those names that they rattle off, like the fucking King of the Andals, blah blah blah, Unburnt. I hate that shit.
Dude.
It's a waste of a minute of my
Yeah.
precious Game of Thrones time.
Yeah. She's got like 23 of those names now.
Yeah.
We
just
get it.
growing.
We get it. Like, do something badass like you used to.
Get
But-
naked.
So after she speaks to whoever the acting call is, she finds out that because Khal Drogo's dead and she's the widow of Khal Drogo, she's got to go hang out with the rest of the widows of Khals, which also sounds boring. So
Yeah. That doesn't sound like, I don't know. I felt like they didn't explain that well. Like they pretty much just explained it like the way you did. Like she's got to go hang out in this place for the rest of eternity.
yeah,
Is that all they do, or?
yeah, like they like said that, and then it was like, oh my god, and then they
Yeah.
cut it away, and you didn't see Dany for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just more boring stuff from Daenerys. Like she just every time she gets some sort of traction going, it just like one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, the one thing Dany had going for her was that Tyrion and Varys just arrived in Marine.
Viserys has been dead for like 5 seasons.
I know. Crownful King.
Yeah, dude had one of the coolest deaths in Game of Thrones,
Yeah,
though.
definitely. But now Tyrion and Varys they're kind of the head of Marine.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
like by default.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of odd that they were just like openly walking through the streets of Marine when Daenerys was just like attempted to be murdered, and all of a sudden they're just walking down there and openly talking about how they're walking around the city like when they shouldn't be.
right.
What are they doing? Shouldn't they be, I don't know, like planning things up at the top of the castle or the pyramid?
Yeah, like
Kind of strange.
yeah, that was a little weird, but it's gonna be cool to see Tyrion in a commanding role. Like
Yeah. It's really the first time since season 2 when he was the Hand of the King for Joffrey, and that's like he was very good at that, and he had some awesome scenes like when when Joffrey's pretty much stripping Sansa in front of the whole court, and Tyrion just walks in and says, "I'm educating my nephew, not threatening the king."
yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to like more things like that, but I'm also looking forward to Varys kind of taking a bigger role. I'm not sure if you guys are book readers, but he's like slyly a big character in the books, and I'm kind of waiting for the show writers to make him an even bigger role than just freeing Tyrion.
Yeah.
I do like Varys a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's always got something up his sleeve, just like Littlefinger. But
I mean, when you got no nuts, what else do you have to live for? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta have stuff up your sleeve.
yeah.
Um,
Where is Littlefinger, by the way? What happened to him?
He is headed back towards King Landon, I believe. King's Landon.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought.
yeah, he's definitely. That's what we haven't seen. We haven't even seen that in the trailers or anything yet, too.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we've seen doing was dropping Sansa off at the Boldens, and I believe he said he was trekking back to King's Landing.
Yeah, he always shows up when you don't expect him.
Yeah.
So going back to the Lannisters, we've got a couple in King's Landing. Jamie gets back from Dorne, yeah, with his dead daughter.
And Prince Tristan.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Spoiler alert.
That was a goof by them because in the end of season 5, all the Sand Snakes are on the dock, and then 2 of them are just on the boat in this season.
Yeah, I saw people defending that, like, they could have caught up, and they're right, but I thought, like, the most interesting thing is why would the Lannisters just leave Prince Tristan on that boat and not, like, put him in captivity or bring him inside or anything.
Yeah.
He's just sitting out there.
Yeah.
It was odd.
And also, like, I mean, in the last season, like, they weren't that far away from Dorne when
when she died.
A couple hundred yards.
Yeah. Like, they're pretty close. They could just turn back and.
Yeah, and apparently there's only like 12 people in all of Dorne because that's all we've seen in like 2 seasons there.
Yeah.
So could have easily turned back and just taken them all on their own.
Mm-hmm. So Cersei's obviously pissed.
Cersei on her new haircut.
Yeah, she's got her Jaime back, and she's got Sir Robert Strong.
Yeah.
Sir who?
Sir Robert Strong, a.k.a. Zombie Mountain.
Okay. I was like, what?
He pretty much looks like a 7-foot-tall Derrick Henry. Like, he's absolutely terrifying how big he is.
Yeah, we're gonna see Robert Strong take on the High Sparrow and all his Is the High Sparrow? Yeah.
The High Sparrow needs to get fucked. The High Sparrow and what's his name, Lancel, need to just die.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. I think I've said this before, but I like how they're doing the whole religion versus science thing. They're setting that up.
Yeah.
We're gonna get like Sir Robert Strong, who's like was brought back from the death from his battle with the Red Viper. I'm like forgetting all these names. It's been so long since Game of Thrones has been on, but
it's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
What's holding you to that?
But yeah. So they're gonna set up the battle against the religious freaks, and it's gonna. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that happens soon. But my girl Marjorie's still in jail.
Yeah. There's also been the rumor of the Clegane Bowl, where they believe the Hound is still alive, like he didn't die when Arya left him for dead. And in the book, there's been hints that he is still alive, so we're kind of like a lot of fan theories are that the Hound is going to come back and he's going to end up facing Sir Robert Strong now, and because the Hound really grew up hating his brother for burning him and everything, so
Yeah.
it would be a very good way to tie up that loose end there.
I would fucking love if the Hound came back. He was my favorite character.
Yeah.
He was great. I think he's dead though. Like.
Yeah, a lot of people say not until you see the body though.
Yeah, but you also didn't see Stannis' body.
Maybe he's still alive, but
Sure.
no. You never know. That would be a cool way to wrap things up though. I think with that storyline.
Well, another thing that was supposed to happen, I think it was season 4, the end of season 4. What's her name again? Poby
Lady Stoneheart.
Lady Stoneheart. Yeah. So what was that? I think she was supposed to come in around the end of season 4, right?
Yeah, and she's never made an appearance. And
Yeah, a lot of people were
her
thinking
out.
maybe this episode, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, I was thinking at the end of season 5 she might come in, because when Brienne does swing her sword at Stannis, they did kind of like cut it off when she would have made contact.
Yeah.
So I thought that Lady Stoneheart secretly like jumped in the middle of that for some reason, or because she thought Brienne would have been breaking her vow and was going off on her own, but that didn't happen. So time is running out for Lady Stoneheart to make an appearance, but I really hope she does because she was like the most shocking thing to happen in the books to me at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that does happen. I don't know, like, where do they put her in now though? To
Yeah,
do what?
they've kind of
Maybe like to help John if John comes back and attacking Winterfell or something.
yeah, and she always like resented John.
Yeah.
Because she believed him to be the bastard. It's kind of accepted now that he's not really Ned Stark's bastard. So maybe if she found that out, she could help Sansa and Jon if they were to unite. Because it looks like Sansa's heading towards Jon now. So maybe
Yeah.
something with that type of storyline there that could bring her in.
Well, let's turn to Sansa. So yeah, she's heading for the wall, or so we think. Um, she escaped from Winterfell from Ramsay. Dust, you got Sansa right there.
Oh, I got my girl Sansa. She hasn't. Her hair is a little darker than I like it to be, but
You
I
like those
got.
redheads.
I do love those redheads. But I got Sansa in all her glory. Sophie Turner, love you if you're watching this podcast. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was real pumped up. Creek saved her at the end of season 6, or yeah, at the end of season 5,
Creek.
and and I was legitimately concerned when Theon ran out to divert the hounds and Ramsay's boys away, and then they found her. I was like, fuck, like classic Game of Thrones. Right when you think something good's gonna happen, just boom, right back in it. But Brienne actually came in clutch for once. As much as I hate her, I was literally about to throw something at the TV when she started doing her fucking loyalty crap again.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, dude.
this was really like this was like the most satisfying scene in almost it feels like seasons because something good finally happens to Sansa.
Yeah.
Finally see Reek become Theon at least on the inside again, and you really see Brienne like finally get to show her shit and really she fucks up.
She finally gets to be someone's bitch.
Yeah, she really finally gets to do something with that enormous stature. Speaking of Derrick Henry, she could be another one.
That'd be another one.
But we really got to see her, and Podrick comes in and
Yo,
kind of with Brienne. Yeah,
Pod's
Big Dick
awesome.
Podrick, yeah.
Big Dick Podrick.
Big Dick Pod.
And he came in and really helped out too. He ended up killing one of the Boldens, and then Theon kills the final one.
Mhm.
But I thought it was kind of interesting how the hounds just disappeared from this scene that they brought in.
The dogs.
Hounds, yeah, they were nowhere to be found after Brienne came in. We didn't hear them bark or anything. That seemed like another goof in the episode.
Mhm. Definitely. I think. You think they'll make it to Castle Black? Because
No.
there's always stuff that gets in their way, you know.
I don't know. I feel like Bran's gonna have to intervene at some point with them.
Mm. That would
Yeah,
be cool.
I think Bran might interfere with Jon in some sort of way. It's kind of been a theory that he might, see through the past and see how Jon was born and stuff through his ward. But
Yeah.
there is the possibility that he could take over his body, and really like kind of control it that way. Meet up with Sansa and stuff that way. So always
Yeah,
a possibility there with Bran.
yeah. Well, let's get into Bran. We haven't seen him since the end of season 4. He's found the three-eyed raven. He's north of the wall still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
So he's gotta get back over. My man Jojen Reed died. I was pretty pissed about that. Love that
Yeah.
guy. But so Bran's getting traded by this three-eyed raven. I think my prediction for Bran is he's controlling a dragon by the end of the show. I really hope that happens. That'd be sick.
He's definitely like, I mean, the whole show is set up for him to be the most important character, like while still having that disability. You know what I mean? Like the very first episode, you kind of feel for him when he breaks his whole body, like when he wants to be this great knight, and then he has to learn basically how to play the game without being able to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're kind of right. They build that up in the sense that they want you to root for the Stark and everything, but you kind of write him off like, oh, he's the paraplegic. You know, I'm gonna root for Rob, and I'm gonna root for John the Bastard, and I'm gonna root for Arya because she's a badass. And they just kind of, slowly drag Bran along through his storyline, and now he probably is going to play a huge role. And Colin, you're kind of right. They're setting him up to fly one of the dragons eventually, because when he goes to the tree at first, he says, "Am I going to walk again?" They say, "No, you're going to fly." So
Yeah.
they might have meant just the ravens and the crows that he would fly, but definitely a dragon, I think, is going to be his ending.
Yeah, I just got a text on the Line and Kugel Summer Shandy hot take text line. We have our friend Father Pat texting in, so shout out to him.
What's Pat got to say?
He's saying he doesn't think Bran's ever gonna come back. He thinks he's never gonna leave the cave, and he thinks Bran represents the old gods, which is a hot take for sure.
That is a hot take.
I think we're gonna get a Stark reunion along the way, like somehow. Like all this bad stuff has happened to the Starks, but they gotta win at one point, you know? Like get them back together once more, please. Like I feel like I'm not even like making a point. I'm just begging at this point.
Yeah, if anybody's listening, send help for the Starks and get them to meet up again.
Yeah, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
I want Arya and Jon to get, like, that's the reunion that I want. Everyone else could die eventually, but Arya and Jon need to meet up. Or not Arya and Jon, Jon and Tyrion I want to meet up again too. Because in the books, they were like fucking boys when Tyrion went up to the wall, like early on.
Even in the show a little bit, they had a good couple conversations, and you could see Tyrion could really relate to Jon. They really hit it off there.
Yeah.
Just to touch on Father Pat's point, I could easily see Bran never really leaving the tree again. You know, why would he? What's really out there for him? He's gonna learn everything he needs for the rest of life in there.
Right.
He's got a lot of wisdom there, and he's gonna be able to control a lot of things from afar and really help out the people that he cares about and kind of create a better world in the world that he kind of wants to see and the revenge that he wants to get from that tree.
Yeah, I feel like Brandon's kind of just like, with his new powers, he's kind of just, he can live in like a virtual reality world now. Or like, he's like the dude who's like in the military, but he just sends the drones and like controls the drones and stuff.
Yeah, Brand's gonna get super depressed and
yeah. Just super fat.
Magazine article about him.
Yeah.
I can't handle all this.
He's the guy in the South Park World of Warcraft episode that like, just kills everybody, but like has like Cheetos all over his shirt and stuff.
Yeah. The next time we see Bran, he's 50 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
No
That's why we haven't seen him in a while. He's putting on those pounds.
Yeah, sweating profusely. Has a lot of acne now.
So
been a rough season all for Bran.
Yeah, he really let himself go. One thing from Bran we saw in the trailers, obviously Bran wasn't in last night's episodes, hashtag spoiler alert, but one thing we saw in the trailer from Bran is that he comes face to face with is it the Night King? Or the Dark King? I don't know. The King of the White Walkers. We see him come face to face, and that's the end of that trailer. I think that's got to be a vision because he's standing up, but he is going to realize the severity of what's going on beyond the wall. Just how nobody really believed John.
Maybe he controls John, and then John goes face to face with the king.
I mean, that could happen. That'd be awesome. I don't know if maybe he will, but I don't know if Bran's gonna have the power to control dead people yet. But
yeah, and I think it's gonna be through Bran that we'll see the Tower of Joy scene, where we see how Jon Snow was really created and who his real parents are. So I think that's gonna be coming at the very beginning of one of the next episodes, and that's really where we'll start off. So I'm actually excited for Bran's return, and I think you're kind of right that he's really going to see the severity of everything, because who's gonna believe a bunch of wildlings and
the guy who was with the wildlings, yeah,
brothers that are sticking up for Jon, who was murdered by his own brothers. Mm-hmm. So I think Bran will definitely play a huge role going forward.
Yeah. All right, we have one more Stark to talk about, and that would be your girl Arya. Dust, you got Arya in front of you?
Yeah.
Let's see her.
Arya!
Is that Needle she has?
It is Needle.
Sticking with the pointy end. All right, so Arya's.
I think Maisie Williams is finally 18. In case anyone was wondering.
Uh-oh.
She was looking sexy the other night.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones premiere, she definitely didn't look bad. I'll say that. And we can say that now, so it's cool. Yeah, but Arya, she's blind now. What's the deal with that? For
now, she's blind.
Agreed.
She's definitely gonna get it back, I think. But I think I read an interview that Maisie did somewhere, and she pretty much just said this whole season for Arya is about her, learning to become the weapon that she needs to be, to kind of be able to help, whoever do what she needs to do in the future. So I think her storyline is kind of similar to what Bran's like going through. They're both learning to be these weapons that only they could be, really. And I think that this season's going to be mainly about her doing that without her senses, but then near the end of the season she'll get them back.
Yeah, I agree. I think the blindness seems to be only temporary for her training, but I really think that she's training, like you said, to become the weapon, and also to really forget the character of Arya Stark, because they kind of knew that was always in her, and she really showed that when she killed Sir Meryn Trant in the brothel. So I think they're really punishing her, and they're not gonna give her sight back until they're 100% sure that Arya Stark is gone and she's really just a killing machine now. So I think we're really going to see the vanishment of Arya Stark over the next season.
So we all agree that Arya isn't going to be Arya, and she's going to get her eyes back, and she's going to become nobody. But we were just talking about a Stark reunion. How will that have an effect if that ever happens?
That's a good question. I think
it's gonna be like when Theon saw his sister, when he was Reek. Like he almost just denied it and didn't really know. Like I think that might happen with Arya. I think we're definitely headed to that point where she runs into somebody that she remembers, and I think that they're gonna, confront her and she'll have no idea or anything.
Yeah.
It'll just be completely gone from her. That's my prediction with that, at least.
Hmm.
I think she'll remember. Something will trigger her memory.
Yeah, and I kind of hope for that because Arya's obviously one of the most likable and rootable characters.
She still
Um,
has Needle, right?
She hit Needle before
buried
She
it.
hit it.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
they let her in the house of.
Because that's the sword that John gave her. So if John does come back and they have a sort of reunion, I think that could be a triggering
Hmm.
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
factor.
Yeah, I mean, Jock and Hagar is one of my favorite characters because he's just pretty badass all around.
Yeah,
Um, but I thought the storyline in season 5 at least kind of drug on. Like, yeah, she's got to become one of these faceless people, and that obviously takes a lot of training to just become somebody else and become nobody. Have you guys heard the theory that Jochen Hagar is Serial Pharrell?
Really?
I've
I didn't
heard
hear that.
that. Yeah,
Because Serial Pharrell says like there's one true God and his name is like Death or something like that. And then Jochen Hagar like says the girl knows the name of the one true God or something like that. I'm butchering that quote, but that's a theory. I thought that was pretty interesting.
yeah,
So
It's too many
going,
theories. Too many fucking theories, man.
yeah, and like probably none of them are gonna come true except for
yeah.
Jon Snow's.
Turns out
Um,
Sansa is the one true queen, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. It turns out the White Walkers just kill everybody.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So predictions for games or for season 6.
Game 6.
Game 6. We're going to game 7. Um, what do we think is going to happen this year?
Um,
I think the king and the prince from Dorne get killed pretty early. Uh, no, I'm just joking. So
That does happen. um, let's talk about deaths. We each came up with some predictable deaths that we think are gonna happen and some hot take deaths. Dust, start us out with an obvious one that you think is gonna happen.
an obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tommen. Tommen's toast.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. The witch gave Cersei that prophecy when she was young. She was gonna have 3 kids and they were all gonna die, or she was gonna see
Yeah.
them in her gold shrouds.
yeah, and she talked about that last night, and you could kind of see how devastated she was. Clearly when she saw Marcella's dead body. So I think really the only thing she has left is Tommen. So it would be interesting if Tommen were to get killed this season and see really what happens to Cersei if she just completely shuts down or just goes off the deep end with Sir Robert Strong on her side.
I could see Cersei trying to go back and find that witch, and try and convince her to change the prophecy, or see what's up with that. I could see her reaching out to, or trying to find the witch at least.
Mm-hmm. Poby, who do you got for an obvious one?
I think I don't really have like an obvious one, I guess. But like a more likely, I'd say I think Jamie is gonna go soon.
Ooh.
Just because we saw Jamie at the beginning, he was a bad guy, he pushes Bran out the window, and then he becomes very likable when he's with Brienne and everything. You really start to feel for him and like really understand his character. And now it seems like he's kind of reverting back to his old self and just really loving Cersei and will do anything for her. And I think with Cersei's short-sightedness, with all of her decisions and everything, and really her brashness, she never really looks to the future with what her decisions will bring and what consequences. I think that something that she does might result in Jamie getting killed off.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That's a good point. I have 2 obvious ones. First is Lancel Lannister. Um, yeah, like I have a feeling Sir Robert Strong's just gonna rip that dude's head off, crush it, do whatever he wants with it, spit it out. The other one I have, and this was kind of almost it was solidified for me last night. Alara Sand, the mother of the Sand Snakes, I think she's gonna get it in some way or form. Cersei's not gonna stand for that stuff, so we'll see
Yeah,
what happens with her.
I would be fine with all of the Sand Snakes just being killed off immediately and just get rid of that whole Dorne plot. It's really
Yeah,
that's
they've done nothing
another
with
one
that,
that's
dude.
drug on way too long, and it's really not interesting. And
Now, Poby, as a book reader, doesn't the King of Dorne doesn't he have a bigger part in the books?
yeah, he does, and so does his bodyguard that was killed last night. Arrow Hota, I think is. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but he was like a real badass in the books, and they just kind of like killed him off with one little stab last night, and it was
Yeah, like that's what I was gonna say. I was pissed about that. It was like a tiny little knife. It looked like
yeah.
a
Like,
3-inch knife
I
that
get
just
they're poisoned, but like
right, yeah,
it should take a minute or two or something more than
right.
that stab in the back. But
Okay, didn't even
it
get to.
just feels like everything in Dorne is like half-assed, and they don't know where they're going with it, and I don't know. It just seems like a dead end.
Yeah. All right. My hot take death is we talked about him earlier. Sir Davos. I think they're building him up this season, and they're gonna break our hearts again. We're gonna love him, and then at the end, we're gonna lose him. It's one of those things I can see happening. Obviously, I don't want it to happen, but a bunch of shit's gonna go down in the north, and I think Davos will be a casualty.
Yeah, I could see that. That's pretty typical Game of Thrones, you know, way of doing things. Build someone up and then tear them down.
Yeah.
With Rob, Ned, the Red Viper, really a lot of people.
Mhm. Kobe, who do you got for hot take one?
My bold prediction is we also touch on him, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if I had to make a bold prediction, I'd say Littlefinger, um, just because he's seemed like one step ahead of everyone, and like we've kind of been led on to believe, he's this mastermind that's behind the scenes and everything, and I don't know, I could see someone like Varys or somebody else really getting a step ahead of him and really cutting him off and catching him off guard and just taking him out of the game. Almost like he's too smart for his own good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely. I hope that happens. I mean, I love Littlefinger, but I definitely want him to die. All right,
Yeah.
Dust. What do you got?
Well, I was thinking Jamie too. I think Jamie's gonna die, but another prediction. I think Dario Naharis is gone. I think by the end of the season, he'll be toast. I don't think him and Jorah can coexist for that long. I don't know. I think the creators just need to kind of punish Dany for, loving Dario Naharis over Jorah, and then they're going to make it so she's left with Jorah again as her sole protector, kind of basically where she was when she started out. So,
You think does Jorah survive the grayscale?
I see him surviving it somehow. Yes,
Cause he.
or at least I at least see him outliving Dario until next season or something like that.
Okay. Because I mean, it doesn't look like he's getting any gonna get any
He's not
medical
going to get
attention
better.
anytime soon either. Because he's just
Yeah,
trying to find
he's
Dany.
dedicating his whole life to, Khaleesi at this point, and he doesn't really care about himself so much as I think redeeming himself and kind of going out on a high note, saving Khaleesi or at least helping her out a lot.
Yeah. See, I think Jorah dies this season so he sacrifices himself so Dany can live with Dario. How about Dario just kind of rubbing it in Jorah's face that like Dany just like doesn't want anything to do with him.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. I had another like an honorable mention, hot take death. I think Pod's going this season.
What? No.
I
I,
I
I
think so.
could definitely see that, like the likable, like quiet kid.
Right.
I'm surprised he hasn't died already, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's
like
true.
another one that they build up just to tear down.
Yeah.
All right, good predictions. Good predictions.
Yeah, so
Um,
we're hoping to do this again probably halfway through the season. Do a little check-in. Poby, you down with that?
I'm always down, and thanks again for having me on.
Yeah. Tell the people where they can find all your Broad and Cecil stuff and anything else you're doing.
All right, yeah. So we have like a WordPress going for Temple basketball and Temple football. So kind of downtime right now until it gets going in August. So we're pretty much on hiatus until then. But you can check out everything we wrote and recorded over the past few months during the basketball season and the Temple spring game and stuff like that. So definitely check us out.
Excellent. All right, yeah. What's the Twitter handle?
At Broad and Cecil.
Cool, easy enough.
yeah.
Um,
So
Dust,
yeah,
Dust, where can they find us?
they can find us at midnighttacos.net.
.net, not .com.
.net, not .com.
.com is so 2015, dude.
Fuck .com. I was gonna go .org, but you gotta
Ooh.
I think you have to be like a government organization or something like that.
I thought that was .gov.
No, organization. Oh, you have to be like a nonprofit. You have to be a
Okay.
nonprofit.
We're not making any money doing this.
Yeah.
not yet, not yet. But yeah, we'll be sure to put up some content this week. I know Lynn just saw Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I posted the part one of my summer movie preview, little short blog about the movies that will come out in May. So if you're a movie fan, check that out. Hopefully you're a movie fan if you're watching this. Yeah, we're gonna we hope to bring you some more stuff soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Cap doesn't come out until the 3rd or something like that.
Yeah,
So
the 5th.
maybe we'll catch The Huntsman in the meantime, even though it kind of flopped this past
No
weekend.
fucking way. I'm so
Dude.
But in the meantime, we tweet some fun stuff. Follow us.
Yeah.
New Twitter handle, midnighttacos_. So give us a follow. If you're watching this, you probably already followed it. So, well, I can see my reflection right now in Sansa.
Sansa
Okay.
movies.
Jesus.
All right. Yeah,
All right.
we'll catch you guys soon.
All right, Poby. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Hey.
bro. See you guys.